So welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for April 13th, 2022. We'll follow the agenda that was tagged in the issue in the repo, which was issue number 1209. Before we get started, does anybody have any announcements they'd like to make? Okay, next up is CPC or board meeting updates. There's no board meeting updates. In terms of CPC updates, I guess last week or this week, let me just remember. This week there was a meeting. I'm trying to think if there's anything worth reporting. You know, one thing of interest is there is an election going on. So if you have any thoughts or want to talk to Rich as our representative, you can comment to him on that. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything worth mentioning. So let's move on to the issues that are tagged for the agenda. So the first one is number 42527. That was actually on the announcement last week as an FYI as part of our process. We probably could have taken the tag off, but the issue is now closed. So I don't think there's anything to discuss on that front. The next one, export V8 trace API. I'm just trying to remember. I think this is one where we're waiting for James to be at the meeting to discuss.
James said that indicated he was going to make this, but he'll be like half an hour late.
Okay, so let's wait till the half hour to discuss that. I guess we do have the module ensure node colon only modules can access node modules. I think that one is the one for the vote that we are having. There are some discussions in there in terms of the vote being close. And so I think, unless I'm thinking of the wrong one. Yeah, no, I think this is the right one, or at least related. We are doing a sort of a revalidation of the vote, and the ask is that all the TSC members, can chime in. I think we're getting close to what we need in terms of the governance. I don't know if there's anything that anybody wants to add on that front.
I do. So I think the vote is pretty much decided based on the reactions on the issue. But we still need to merge that pull request. So just voting is not enough. We actually need to land that code before V18 goes out.
Right. So, but that should be able to happen, I guess, anytime now. Once we, I haven't looked at it. I think Rich had been keeping track of that, but we needed one or two more people, but that sounds like that has happened. It looks like it now, just looking, we have now 9, which I think you're right. So basically we need to just land that PR. Is there anything standing in its way other than it actually landing?
I can't remember if I ever ran the CI on it or not, but yeah, it should be good to go. It just needs reviews.
Right. Which issue is that? Just to make it easy for people to get there.
42430.
Yeah, let me just find and put the link in there. Oh, thanks. Right, okay, I'm just going to add that to the minutes. And just looking at it. So yeah, we definitely needs reviewers as well. Because I guess my understanding is the test runners already landed. This fixes the behavior, I assume, as opposed to adding it to start, right?
Yeah, so the vote that we just had was about
Yep.
load from node:test and have test fall back to userland. So this
Yep.
is the behavior for that second part of falling back to userland.
Right, okay, perfect. So the ask for everybody here is please review that and approve so that we can land it quickly. And does it make any sense for us to just tag it with running the CI now?
I can take care of running the CI. Let's move on.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, the next one is refactor headers timeout and request timeout logic, which is 41263. Just taking a look at that to see who added it to the agenda, but if there's anybody who's active in that one, just jump in.
I can't remember why it's been added to the agenda, but I think it's been merged. I
Yeah,
think
it looks like it has. Yep. Okay. So we can just say has been merged. Nothing to discuss this week. I think to rename the default branch from master to main, we know we still have a number of repos to finish, and we knew also we probably weren't going to do anything with the lead up to 18. So I don't think there's any updates. Okay, next on the agenda was the 2022 Tsc Chair Election. I just suggested a timeline. The deadline is May 30th, so it sort of lays out a potential time scale, although it was suggested we could shorten that. By opening, I guess in that case, we would open call for nominations and nominations later. But I haven't seen too much discussion in there. I guess if people, the ask is for people to take a look and comment. I'm not too fussy as long as we get it done in time. Anything that people want to talk about on that one? I had it mostly as an FYI here. Okay, if not, we can move on. The next one was the daily notable summary. That again was on an was on an earlier agenda. We did have some discussion to see if people had any fundamental disagreements. I guess we have had some discussion in the issue itself. And, maybe I'll just take it off the agenda unless people think we should leave it on the agenda for some reason. So the next one is published specs for buffer and event emitter. I think that is one that we also hope to have James for. So maybe, although it's looking like we're getting through pretty quickly, but we might, we'll defer that one to when we get through and see if James is here by then. The next one is create a pat for block list import export number 672. I think this needed a number of +1s from the node Tsc. We may have enough now. Any questions or discussion on that to help people get to the point where they could add an approval so that can move forward? Okay, so if not, that takes us to the end of our agenda items. Module will maybe coming back to a couple of them when we have James. Maybe we can take a quick look at the strategic initiatives just to see if we've got any updates on those. Just go there. So I'm just looking through. I don't know if there's an update on core promise APIs, Antoine.
No, not this week.
Okay. Looking through. I think the only other one is next 10. So just we did, as a heads up, we did have a good mini summit last week where we dove into I forget quickly. We dove into I'm gonna have to find the PRs. Hold on. Both WebAssembly and security models, security policies discussion. We had some good discussions. I think we sort of came up with an agreed strategy / next steps for each of those. And there are 2 PRs open documenting those, which I'll just put into the update here. So if you're interested and want to confirm that those match what you think we should be doing on those 2 fronts, it would be great to take a look at those PRs, review, potentially approve. And sort of the next steps is on that initiative is to continue to work some of the next steps that we've addressed for each of the initiatives. And the next mini summit is planned for the OpenJS, the collaboration summit that's happening at OpenJS World. And that takes us to the end of the public session, or sorry, end of the agenda. I think maybe what we can do is end our public session, go into the private section because we want a little bit of time for that. And James said he'd probably make it in 10 minutes, but we can then pick up the discussion of the last 2 issues with him when he gets here. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay, great. In that case, thanks for everybody who has been watching the live stream. I'm going to stop the stream for now. Let me just copy the stream first, put it in the minutes.